Sunday morning. A Derbyshire-supported housing provider has announced a new project to support people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. The project will provide housing, but also help with things like accessing healthcare, jobs and education. Terry Eckersley is from the River Network. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Susan.
Thanks for getting up early at this time on a Sunday. It's nice to talk to you. Can you tell me a bit more about the project?
Yes, of course I can. Yeah, we're starting on the 1st of June. That's when we officially start. We've already got 2 residents because we've taken over from another housing provider. And we've got a beautiful first property in Matlock Bath. It's Costa del Matlock Bath at the moment. Yes, and we're starting the 1st of June.
Well, like you said there, glorious weather, isn't it? And it just gives people an air of feeling more positive about things to come, doesn't it? What else do you help out with in addition to housing?
Well, we do lots of stuff, actually. We've been on this show quite a few times. So we've got a food bank and we've got a home delivery service. So it's a bit like a Uber Eats for marginalised and vulnerable people. We do that. We've got a state-of-the-art television studio, actually, and radio studio, 3 TV set studio. So we do a lot of stuff in there around training, leadership, mentoring, coaching, interview skills. And of course, everybody's media based now, and lots of young people. So we do that as well. And we've got, actually, which is great with the weather, we've got a community therapeutic allotment as well. So that's just a few of the things. I mean, if I told you everything we do, I'd probably cross shows and end up on the next show. So
it's so good to hear, though. We love to hear good news. And,
yes.
You mentioned there about the allotment and the weather being nice. We know ourselves, don't we? When we get out and about in the outdoors, it's good for our mental health and our well-being. How important is that for people who have been homeless?
Exactly. I think I always say this, people need community, which we all know, especially after the lockdowns. People really need community for mental health, and they need purpose. And we need that, we're often good, especially people in charities and supported housing, in helping others what they need. But I think if we model that and live that, so I think a strong sense of community, building team, building family, building purpose. And that really, really does help people. So they've got something to get up for, something to look forward to. And then identifying their skills and strengths and passions. And there's always a way to mobilize people. People said to me, we employed a lot of people last year, 80 people on the Kickstart project. And they said, Terry, how did you do that? Because people couldn't even employ 2 or 3. We employed 10, then times it by 8 all across Derby. Well, identify what makes you tick. What do you like? Oh, well, I like pets. Oh, well, we can get you qualified in pet care and, working towards veterinary stuff. Or, other people say, well, I like gaming. Well, we can transfer that into other media skills and stuff. So I think if you identify people's skills and strengths, you're pulling out the victor in them rather than leaning towards the victim. And everybody's had challenges, but there's always a way forward and we can overcome. So.
And what happens next for the people that you help? Because while this is happening, it gives them a positive outlook. But what then happens for them going forward?
That's a really, really good question. And I'd just like to honour and share. I think it's great working with partnerships. And we've partnered with Derbyshire Dales District Council Housing Options Team. We're doing that. And they're just going through. The whole nation's going through it. I often seem to jump back into housing when there's some big change coming. And it's called the Supported Housing Improvement Plan, SHIP. And I've just met with them recently, obviously been working towards this. And so they're asking me questions like you've just asked me. And I said, what we'll do once people have been inducted, we'll start working with them on the move on plan then. So we'll get them applying to local councils, other housing associations for the next step in move on accommodation. So that's already there. You're not looking in 12 months and saying, right, let's apply now. It'll take a long time. we'll get that in the pipeline straight away. And then while we've got that in the pipeline, we'll be offering support and motivation. And we're also doing stuff like social events. On weather like this, we'll take people to Carsington Water. We'll be doing stuff in the media studio with them. They'll be getting involved at the community allotment and other things, voluntary work, training, stuff like that. So, and it was interesting because the stuff that the council were asking for, Terry, could you do this and get this to us? I said, oh, we've already got that. It's in the license agreement. Oh, we've got that. They were so happy because I've worked in housing for about 25 years. I'm like ahead of the curve because the supported housing projects that are not supporting people based, that's government contracts that run off housing benefit. This is what this new program's for, but I can bring all my experience into that and we can help not just our housing project, but cascade that across Derbyshire as well for other organisations who need help and support in this improvement plan time.
And it's so good to hear all the positive stuff that's going on. Terry, thanks for getting up early for us this morning. That's Terry Eckersley there from the River Network on BBC Radio Derby. Well, Terry mentioned the weather quite a few times there, didn't he? Because we're in a bank holiday weekend. We want it to be nice.